Bart stuck his ice cream into the cage. To his surprise, the gorilla kidnapped him right away and climbed to the highest spot in the enclosure. Bart yelled that the gorilla was messing with his head. The zookeeper warned, "That gorilla is strong enough to twist Bart's head right off." When Homer heard that, he grew frantic with worry for Bart's safety. The zookeeper tried to distract Homer to calm him down. By nightfall, Bart was desperate to go home. The gorilla offered him a banana to get him to stay, but Bart had never liked eating fresh fruit. Suddenly, Homer's voice came from behind. Homer told Bart, "Wait until the gorilla falls asleep. I'll hide you in a garbage bag and sneak you out." But all night long, the gorilla kept pushing Bart on a swing, while Homer snored soundly nearby. Soon, the news of Bart being kidnapped by the gorilla hit the headlines. The news anchor criticized Marge for being an unfit mother, while Homer was the only one fighting to find a way to rescue Bart. Thankfully, the police standing nearby used a taser to save Homer when things got dangerous. When Marge rushed to the zoo, she ran straight into the gorilla's cage. Seeing her, the gorilla grabbed Bart and climbed up onto a tree branch. Marge had no choice but to beg the gorilla to give her son back. But the gorilla was a mother too. Her own baby had been taken away from her, so she'd started seeing Bart as her own child. She carried Bart all the way to the highest point in town, the new steeple on top of the church. Marge broke down in tears. Luckily, Lisa found the gorilla's baby just in time. Roddy brought the baby gorilla up to the top of the steeple. When the mother gorilla saw her own baby, she finally let Bart go. News reports said there would be no snow on Christmas anywhere in the US, but the next day, it started snowing in Springfield. Scientists explained that it was caused by radioactive steam from the nuclear power plant and particles from burning tires. So Springfield became the only place in America with snow. The mayor proposed turning Springfield into a tourist town, so everyone could make more money. Hordes of visitors flooded into Springfield, paralyzing the town's traffic. Even the parking tip fee was as high as $5. Supermarkets were also cleaned out completely. On her way home, Marge ran into a family looking for a place to stay, so they paid $300 a night to stay in the Simpson family's rec room. Bart and Maggie even started taking care of the family's kids specifically. The pastor felt anxious watching the huge crowd pour into the church, but to his surprise, he ended up earning everyone's praise in the end. Bart also made his first bucket of money right outside the church. On the other hand, Marge grew impatient dealing with the tourists' unreasonable demands one after another. She could only comfort herself by thinking she was enduring it for the money. But that night, Marge got into a big argument with the tourists over Christmas carols. When Abe heard the tourists planning to go back to their rooms, he quickly held out his tip jar. The next day, the tourists prepared to leave. Bart thoughtfully reminded them not to forget their valuables, and earned another tip because of it. Marge apologized to the tourists, saying she had overreacted, but the tourists weren't upset about it at all. Homer saw his co-workers eating a new type of donut, but when he went to grab one, he found the box was already empty. Homer tracked down the person who'd bought the donuts to ask about them, and when he learned it was from a mobile donut shop, Homer called the police right away. The police sent a helicopter to search for the shop, and finally located it using its logo. Unfortunately, by the time Homer arrived, all the donuts had already sold out. The chief pulled out his gun and threatened the owner to make more, but luckily, an officer nearby calmed things down in time. Just then, the owner pulled out a prototype beer barrel donut he was still developing. Homer and the owner hit it off right away, and became good friends. When Homer found out the owner, Terrence, was still looking for a house, he took him straight to the house next to his own. Terrence's wife also loved the house, so after the couple renovated it, Homer took his family over to visit. As soon as they walked in, they saw Terrence's whole family was super cool. Homer badly wanted to be like Terrence, so he shaved his head. The fence between their 2 yards was taken down too, and they started sharing a single yard from then on. Homer began doing all kinds of cool things with Terrence. The two kids were thrilled with Homer's change, but Marge thought Homer was turning into someone much worse. The next day, the Simpson family went to Terrence's son's birthday party. Homer even made a handmade gift, but the kids mocked the handmade clothes he'd made, and even threw them straight into the trash. Bart couldn't stand people talking bad about his dad, so he started a fight. Terrence kicked the Simpson family out of the party, and the friendship between the two families fell apart right then and there.